State ag leaders urge Congress to ratify the USMCA and take action on other trade items as well. It's part of their policy discussion at the NASDA Winter Policy Conference. RFD-TV's Sarah Mock joins us from Washington.
With the list of issues affecting America's farmers and ranchers growing all the time, we're here at NASDA's Winter Policy Conference to talk to members of the state departments of agriculture about what is affecting people in their state in particular and what they're doing to move those conversations forward. We're lucky to be joined here by Commissioner Doug Goehring of North Dakota, also the Vice President of the National Association of State Departments of Agriculture. Doug, give us an update on what you heard this morning on the WOTUS rules, something we've been waiting a long time for and something I think we're hearing some clarity on.
Well, we are. This is kind of nice to get some clarity on what the new proposed rule is. It means a lot to our farmers, our landowners, to our state, because it really does define what's going to be considered from here on out. There's been a lot of confusion in the past. This now specifically looks at a wetland, for example, and unless there is connectivity on the surface, it is not considered a waters of the U.S. It's not along with the traditional navigable waters. So that helps to bring some clarity. Ditches, unless it's you're talking about something that's perennial or is intermittent and not just a weather event that has caused some water to run through a ditch or through a ravine, it's not considered traditional navigable waters of the U.S. And that's meaningful because it gives us a clearer opportunity to define what is going to be considered and what's not going to be. So we really like the proposed rule that's come out, just because now people aren't trying to guess where they're going to be at in this whole situation.
Talk to us a little bit, with all the uncertainty that's in ag right now, any kind of timeline that you got from folks at EPA as when they can expect, folks in agriculture can expect to see this rule actually in place?
Well, right now I believe it's April 15th is when they want all the comments to be in. That's not to say there couldn't be an extension on that, but at least we're looking at this spring and then potentially having something finalized later this year.
I want to broaden out the conversation a little bit and talk about trade. Obviously, so many different trade deals to talk about right now, but I think in your part of the country, TPP is of particular concern right now. Could you talk a little about just what trade deals you're watching and any hope kind of on that front?
Well, it'd be nice if we could get back to the table and do a TPP, just simply looking at a multilateral trade agreement so that we have everybody together at the table. We're going to operate under the same structure, the same set of tariffs, maybe the same set of tariff rate quotas. I'm not quite sure where that's at. We need support from Congress. We need support from the administration. I know right now they're looking at more bilateral trade agreements with Japan, with the EU, with Great Britain going forward, and with China. But I think with all that, it's tied back into the USMCA. We have to make sure we get that ratified, because if we don't get USMCA ratified, everything's off the table. There's not going to be a reason for any country to put all that time and effort into discussing what a bilateral agreement should be if it's all going to be thrown in the garbage. So I'm really hopeful that Congress ratifies this, we move forward, and let's get on to fixing some of the trade issues that exist out there.
Absolutely. Well, some hopeful words for farmers across the country there as we look forward to wrapping up a number of trade deals that are underway. Thanks again to Doug Goehring of North Dakota for joining us this morning. We'll have more reporting from here at NASDA's Winter Policy Conference throughout the week. But until then, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Sarah. And we will head back to Washington for more from the NASDA Winter Policy Conference. That'll happen at 1 p.m. Eastern. Rural communities across the country, they lack access to health care. It's no hidden secret, and some leaders are trying to improve the situation, including North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, who